Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Ara Ara, the Weeb podcast. I'm your host, Amy, and joining me today is Vivz. Arian is missing in action, so it's just gonna be the two of us today. So, how are you doing?
I'm good. I really like how you mentioned or how you said the name of the podcast. It's much better than how I did it in the first episode. You practice.
Practicing in the shower before this, I was taking a shower and I was like, Ara Ara.
With the different pitches and tones. Like, this girl. I'm doing great, Amy. How about you?
I'm doing good. Yeah. So, how's everything been? Are you watching any anime currently?
Actually, yes, I'm watching Chobits again. If you've heard our first episode, you will notice that it was a Chobits themed episode overall. Just
Yeah.
because we all have our mutual love for Chobits, and it's just going back to the memory lane of how I watched it before. So, how about you, Amy? Are you watching any anime at the moment?
I'm watching Promised Neverland season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen season 1, but then like I've been putting off season 2. So yeah, that's what I'm watching now. And like a lot of people have been talking about how they don't really like season 2 of the
Mm-hmm.
anime. So I mean, so far for me, it's all right. But I feel like maybe if I read the manga, I would have thought differently. But because I don't really read manga, you know,
Yeah, I was about to ask you
to me
that.
it's all right.
Do you read manga, or are you the type of anime watcher that if you're not satisfied with the anime, you're like, what chapter is this in the manga? I need to read this. Are you like that?
No, the only manga that I've read was Alice Academy. Just because
Mm.
like I felt so sad that like it just stayed in season 1 and like there is no more to it. And I was like, no, this could have been something. I want to
Mm.
know more. I want to know what it could have been. So that's the only thing really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, on to today's topic. Since we talked about our origin stories in the last episode, I wanted to talk more about our experiences of interacting with other weebs and to discuss whether there is an extent to where it can be considered weird. So, is there a limit to the extent of someone's otakuness before it becomes weird? So, uh, what do you think of it?
I think we should start with how do you define a weeb in the first place, right? Like
Right.
everyone, like, otaku and weeb keeps on being interchanged in a lot of conversation.
Mm,
It's like otaku is this and weeb is the next level, but in reality, they are two different terms. So,
mm,
based on what I remember, otaku is someone who is obsessed with something. It's not only
mm,
restricted to anime, it could be different things. It's just that they are obsessed with it. They have a lot of knowledge about it. But when you say weeb, this is the person who obsesses with a certain country. Let's say Japan. I'm obsessed with
mm.
Japan, and I want to become like Japan supremacy.
Right, right,
It's
yeah.
the top, or I want to be a citizen, or everything in Japan is like the best. So,
Mm,
but if in terms of what I would say, like anime fans, we don't we call ourselves weebs as a gag, like, really, right? Like, we don't really
yeah,
think
right.
as Japan is the holy place or the holy land.
Mm,
But it's just
yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah. But for me, yes, there is like certain boundaries or certain lines that you need to cross for you to become a really weird weeb, I would say, because we're all weird
Mm.
in a sense.
Yeah, we're all very weird in our own ways. Yeah,
Yeah,
of
so
course.
it's just that these people reached that certain level, like.
Mm. Yeah.
How about you, Amy? What do you think?
Well, for me, like, it's someone that, like, for me, there's a limit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, I know we're all very weird in our own way, of
Mm-hmm.
course, but there, when you like, okay, you can watch anime, you can cosplay. Like, I don't mind if you cosplay and it's a cosplay event or anything like that. uh, you know, and you're part of like a community or whatever it is, really. But I find that if you bring too much of it into like your real life,
Mm-hmm.
then it starts to become weird. Like, it's affecting your actual life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, um for example, like, I had this ex, right, who is super duper like into Hatsune Miku. Like, his life was literally Hatsune Miku. It was, for me, it was so strange because, like, he would like fill his room with just posters of her,
Mm-hmm.
and like just little, like, he would have like collections of her as well, and that's fine to an extent. But literally, like, he would see her as like his waifu, and like he wanted, and obviously because like we were in a relationship long term, we would obviously talk about like living together, blah blah blah. And he was like, oh, you know, when we live together, I'm gonna have like a projector in our room
Mm-hmm.
so we could like see Hatsune Miku like in the room, in the bedroom, and like he would like
Mm.
he could fantasize about her right then and there. And it's like, no.
But wait, I think there are some people who are okay with that. Like, like if your boyfriend maybe is obsessed with a certain character, it's just that that's not everyone's cup of tea, I guess.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
And that's what you felt. Like you didn't
yeah.
like,
Like, I'm not,
okay.
like, I'm not comfortable with that. Like,
Mm.
for me, that's borderline very, like, I don't even know, cuz
Girl.
like, again, again, like, you know, maybe for other people that's not weird, but
Mm.
personally, I would think that's very weird. Like, if someone would like interact with people in a strange way, like, I can accept, for example, like someone who does like a Naruto run or something like that. Like, I feel like in every high school that has ever existed in the history of every high school, there is one person at least that has done like a Naruto run, you know? But like, if you start acting like Naruto or Hinata in real life,
Mm.
like, that's how you interact with your friends and your family, then for me, that's a bit too much.
Like, I agree with the sense that everyone is saying this as a gag, that 2D is better than 3D. But man,
Right.
2D is great, but when they do it in real life, it's like cringe. Like for
Yeah.
example, the one that you said, the Naruto run, right? Like if you
Yeah.
see it in anime in Naruto, that's fine because that's how they really
Yeah.
run. But if you do it in real life, like running with your arms behind your back, like okay. Or another example would be maid cafes. Have you been to a maid cafe?
Oh, no, I haven't, but
Girl!
like, obviously I know about them.
Oh my god, like I can watch an anime about maid cafes, but I remember there are conventions back home in the Philippines before that they have set up a mini maid cafe. Not only maid,
Right.
but there are also butlers inside the cafe, and then they will welcome
I
you
didn't know
with.
there were butlers. I knew about
I
all
swear.
the maids and stuff.
Yeah, there are butlers too. Like they will always choose the good-looking ones, of course. And then what will they say? I okairi gosujin sama, or I don't know the exact line. I'm not even sure if it's okairi, but man, it's okay if I'm watching it on anime, but but in real life it becomes cringe. Like it's not
Yeah.
something that I can stand. So yeah.
Mm.
And regarding your story about the waifu, what's your opinion about the waifu culture? Because you said earlier that you're not comfortable with it, but for me as an anime fan, I mean, the equivalent of the waifu is the husbando, right? Just because,
Right.
I mean, girl. So we, as anime fan, we all, as a girl, I mean, we have our
Right.
husbando,
Yeah.
you know, like our
Sure.
best boy, best girl,
Yeah.
something. But for me, I can still, I mean, I wouldn't mind if, let's say, for example, my boyfriend has a waifu and then I have a husbando,
Mm.
right? But the thing is, like,
Yeah.
I can still separate the 2D world and the 3D world, right?
Right.
And that's what makes them
And
more appealing because they're not real. They're supposed to be perfect. Your husband's, your wife's,
exactly.
though your wife who is supposed to be perfect in that sense because
Yeah.
they're not real, right?
Mm.
So that's my take on that, you know. And
Yeah.
it's all about how you see the waifus and husbandos, you know.
Yeah.
How you can tolerate them if you have a partner who's into that. Like me.
Right. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Obviously, like, if that's the whole setting, of course, because you're like both into like, okay, uh, we're gonna play this out that way, you know. But if it's an everyday thing, for me, that's strange. Like, again, going back to like, from what I've experienced, like
Mhm.
he would want me to dress that way just because like I don't even
Oh.
think he was into me. I think he was more into her really. And I feel like, and what I'm also not okay with is like in conventions and stuff when, they see these characters as well and probably harass them just
Ah.
because that's
Mhm.
the real life version of what they imagine.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I understand that part. I mean, there are two types of creeps in a convention. I would say
Yeah.
like that one who thought that this is their real life waifu or something, or the second one who's just literally a creep, regardless of who they're taking photos of. Like I remember when I
Mm.
was cosplaying back home, back in the Philippines, I did a cosplay of Jill Valentine in Resident Evil 2,
Mm.
the original. Like she was just wearing a blue tube and then, a short skirt. Like, yeah, killing of zombies with showing that much skin, girl. You will not become a zombie. You're Jill Valentine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was wearing that tube outfit. And then I remember a photographer asked me to, or asked if he could take a picture of me. So I'm like, yeah, sure. Okay, that's fine. And then he said,
Mm.
"Oh, Red, no, my favorite in Resident Evil is you, Claire
Yeah.
Redfield." And I'm like,
That's not
"Really?
you.
Cosplaying Jill Valentine?" And then he said, "Could you please do
Yeah.
this pose?" He asked me to put both of my hands up and cross it, and also downward. And since I'm wearing a tube, I'm like, I know what you're trying to do. So I said,
Exactly.
yeah, so I said, no, I'm not comfortable doing that pose. I'm sorry. And he just walked away. But, like that kind of creep he doesn't have to be a weeb. He's just a creep, literally,
Right.
with what he
Yeah.
did. So I don't want it to be mixed with the real weebs or real otaku that they just love the cosplay stuff. They don't have to be
Mm.
exactly weird, but we do know that otakus or weebs have this they have been stereotyped to be awkward socially, right? So
Mm.
I don't know if that's 100% true or not. Do you believe that's the case, Amy?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, how like there are different kinds of people and then there are people that are actually creeps and
Mm-hmm.
they just happen to be weaves at the same time. So they put that creepiness into like the anime world. And I guess because like a lot of anime, like a lot of the women in anime is also very sexualized, I think,
Mm-hmm.
that it just gives them that boost to do it even more.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. But I wanted to ask you a question. How did you, or what was it like? Were you considered a weeb? I think I asked you this question before. I'm not exactly sure.
Maybe you have. I don't even remember. Maybe in real life.
Maybe because
But
we've been talking about this a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah. No, I don't think I've ever been. I guess that's why like I'm still somehow like the normie in the group
Mm-hmm.
because like I wasn't really like super like I didn't dive deep into anime like you and Arya and you guys cosplay. I've never cosplayed before. Not that I'm not open to the idea. I would love to. It just was never my thing, you know? And like I don't really read the mangas. The anime, I think I covered it last episode where like I barely ever watched any anime
Mm-hmm.
until like I got with Nico, my current boyfriend, who like made me watch anime properly. So I don't think I've ever been considered a weeb, really. But like, what about you? Like, you've been in the whole cosplay scene, anime scene, like since you were in high school. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how was your experience? And like, and back to like how the extent of being weeb. Did anyone ever think that you were like super weird? Like, did you ever reach anyone's limit? You think?
I think I was considered a weeb since elementary, not only high school. Like I was really
Oh,
out
okay.
about it. Like, man, I love anime. I love watching anime. I love video games. I was that kind of person, and I didn't give a shit back then. So for me personally, I'm not sure. Maybe there was a point that I was a cringe too. Like people will be looking at me and they will think like, oh my god, this girl is like, crazy or such a loser or something. Because I was like that too. I mean, at some point, but I think it wouldn't look weird if I was in cosplay and then doing some shitty anime stuff
Mm, right.
because
Yeah.
it's cosplay. Like, I mean, I'm trying to mimic a character, but like I don't think I have a vivid memory of me being a cringy person. Maybe I don't
Mm.
know. So if you know me
You're
personally in real life, I mean, just leave a comment and tell me if there was ever a moment or that I was so cringy, or I don't know. But have you noticed other people being cringy, or what? Aside from the ex-boyfriend that you've had, like, do you have
right.
other experiences that made you feel like, that's a bit,
This is super
yeah,
cringe.
like,
Yeah.
hmm.
Dude, I have like I've seen so there was like in high school there was this one guy who was courting my best friend.
Hmm.
And I don't know why this was like super duper important to him. This specific day, it wasn't their anniversary or whatever it is that they were celebrating, but it was really nothing. It was just a random day, and like we used to have school buses, and so he knocked. He knocked at our school bus, like because she was sitting on the window side, coincidentally, and he's just like open the window, and then he gives her like a love letter like this. He was like
Like
that, and
bowing.
then my friend, yeah, like bowing and giving it, and like I mean, you know, my best friend took it, and then he like Naruto run away. Like
Imagine stopping a
that's
bus just to give a love letter.
yeah,
I mean, man.
yeah. I that was like that's what I mean about like putting it into your real life.
Yeah.
Like you could have I don't know, give it in class or in the locker or
Mm,
something. You didn't have to like be so dramatic about about. It's not like we were going forever. This you would see. This wasn't even like towards the
mm.
weekend. It was the middle of a weekday. So it's like what? So and then another was there was this couple in the hall. This was back in college,
I think I know this
and
couple.
you
If you don't guys
probably
know,
do.
Amy and I went to the same uni in the Philippines.
Yeah, we
So
went to the same
yeah.
uni.
And can you share that story about those students.
Yeah. So they were arguing in the hallway, and then the girl starts like holding his hand and like crying. I don't know what they were arguing about. And then he lets his hand go, like he lets her hand like that. And then I don't know what she says to him, but she grabs his hand again. And then he goes to the wall like this, like, and then he hits it like that.
Like,
Like,
man.
yeah. I was like, oh my god, no.
No.
So yeah,
Like in an anime, it's fine. If I will see that
yeah,
exact scene in
exactly.
an anime, I would understand because that's an anime.
Mm,
But if I'm gonna
right.
see it in real life, I will be like, hmm,
That's very strange.
yeah,
But again, this is my extent
yeah,
to
yeah.
it, I guess. Like, for example, I do have friends that see even like cosplaying as cringe, like
Really?
yeah, like recently, right? We went
To an
to
event.
this event, and there was a cosplay competition, if you
I think
recall,
I
and
know who
I
this
do.
friend is. I think I have an idea. Okay, what did she say?
No, she didn't say anything. It's just that her face the entire time was,
Yeah, like
yeah,
I know who this person is.
like, yeah, yeah. So I mean, again, there's like there are different extents to the weirdness. Maybe
Mhm,
for someone else, what I find weird, at least, isn't too weird for them.
mhm.
So, you know.
But I think we are the same in that sense. I remember I had this
Mm,
coworker back in the Philippines where um, I was working in a call center, so it's like a casual attire. Like you can wear whatever you want, just not slippers, like just still be
mm.
in business attire or something casual that's not, that's still professional. And then I remember I have this coworker, they were a couple, both of them are into anime. And then the girl, whenever she comes to the office, she's always wearing Nekomimi headband. Okay. And then she's wearing
Naku!
a neko tail, and she has paws. Like the
No.
neko paws, yeah. So she has that, and of course when she's working she removes the paws because she has to type and stuff.
Okay.
But
That's the
that girl, she wears it most of the time, and when she talks in like baby talking way. Like, boss, can you please help me with this one? I mean,
Does she do that?
yeah, oh my, yeah, she would do that. Like, boss, can you please? And my boss will be like, can you please shut up? Shut up, or I will slap you. Because for my boss, it was that annoying, and even for me.
Mm,
But again, like
yeah.
I said, if I saw that in an anime, that's probably fine. Like that's understandable because like Japanese people play a lot with the voice actresses, like how they speak,
Right.
like even the small voices, they can small female voices that will sound cute. That's fine if I'm watching it,
Mm,
but not in real life. And then I remember the boyfriend, so the girl is always wearing something about the cats, right? And then the guy,
yeah.
one time he came into the office. He has. Have you watched Code Geass?
Yeah, of
Yeah. So
course.
if
It's
he's
a
if
classic.
you've seen Code Geass, he will come into the office wearing Zero's cape, and he will be like that when he's walking. Yeah.
No. Did he believe?
Yeah, he believes
Did
that
he
he's Zero. I mean, man, if that was in a convention, that's that's
Right.
acceptable. But I mean, if that is in that corporate setting, I mean, there are
Yeah.
places where you can be as weird as fuck, and no one will bat an eye,
Mm,
right? Like if you did it
right.
in a convention, like people will think you're cool. Like, whoa, Zero is here, right? But
Right.
in an office, I mean, man, there's like you're giving us a bad reputation, man. No, I don't want to
Yeah.
be called a weeb now. I mean, oh no, I'm not an anime fan. Just
Uh,
because you don't want to be associated to that kind of act, right? Because you think it's
mm,
weird. And I wanted to share something else, but I forgot. So yeah, I mean, I think that's it for me in terms of
But I
yeah,
wanna yeah, but I wanna know, like, in the office, did he think he was
yeah,
Lelouch?
yeah.
Or
He would
like
say
he
lines.
talked like
Yeah, yeah.
Lelouch, or
No, I mean not completely, but he would randomly say lines of Lelouch, and then sometimes he was on a call, and then he would just stand up and do this. Man, I told you that's like, mm, okay, So I mean,
yeah.
because for me, I mean, I'm not trying to act like I'm not weird, okay, but I've also
Yeah.
had my fair share of wearing something that only anime fans can understand. Like, for example, I remember when I was in uni, I had a very short haircut up until this
Mm.
length, or up until above my shoulder, and at that time, Attack on Titan was very popular. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so at
Alright,
some point
alright.
I was going to school with a red scarf around my neck. But again, it
Mm.
didn't look weird. It just looks like a fashion statement because it's just a red scarf.
Yeah.
But if you've been watching the anime and if you know where I got my haircut from, you will be like, I see you're a woman of culture as well. You will be like nod of approval, right? But it's
Yeah.
not as weird maybe,
Out
or yeah, as
there.
out
Yeah.
there or in your face kind of
Mhm.
thing that I'm like doing this with my scarf. No, I'm
Yeah.
just wearing it for the sake of I like it. And if and at
Mm.
that time Attack on Titan didn't have this popularity back then, so it was only season
Mm.
one. So you can imagine how many
Oh,
fans. Yeah, it was the
wow.
season one. So I'm like, man, I really like Shingeki no Kyojin. So yeah. What else? I also did like crazy hairstyles. Like I was
Mm.
there was a point in my life as well that my hair was. I had a haircut, um, which I copied Yuna from Final Fantasy X-2.
Okay, that's
Yeah, like she
cute.
has
That's
this
cute.
flyaway hair. But again,
Yeah.
it's still not, into your face kind of
It's
thing.
not blatant,
Yeah, like
right?
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm the only person who knows why I have that haircut. I mean, it will look weird to others, but it's not that much weird, you know.
Mm.
And I don't know. I guess it's like when weebs are trying to find other weebs. I guess they're trying to put or
Yeah.
wear something that will make them look like
Stand
yeah, not
out.
really stand out, but just call the attention of other weebs. Like I
Mm.
you would be wearing anime shirts, which is fine. Like I mean, it's just a shirt. But have you tried doing that?
Yeah.
I don't think you were at that level, Amy. That you've worn
I don't even
any trinket or any
mm.
maybe bracelet or something from an anime.
Mm.
No.
No, I don't think. Dormy I am.
Yeah, but for me, it was like I was even wearing a necklace of I forgot the Wings of Freedom. I think on Attack on Titan, I had
Okay. Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So keychain, keychains of anime. I mean, that's the only thing that I've done. I've never tried wearing a cape at school just because or in the office. But yeah.
No, I yeah, I mean, I get it. It's sort of like you said, like it's a call to like other fans
Mm-mm,
to know that you're also a fan.
mm-mm,
Like, it's not an anime, but like my phone screen cover, like since season one of Rick and Morty, has been the sun. No, no, not the sun, but it was always Rick and Morty.
mm-mm,
And when I met Maha, one of our
mm-mm,
friends' brother, he also had like a Rick and Morty uh screensaver. That was the sun.
mm-mm,
And I mean, we met like I don't know what season of Rick and Morty it was. Like it was a like, some number of time, but
mm-mm,
like when I saw that was his screensaver, I was like, oh, like my screensaver is Rick and Morty too, and because of that, we became super close. So I think that's why like you said, like these people probably wear that stuff
mm-mm,
because they're so passionate about it and they want to like know
Yeah.
that if there are other people that are that are as passionate as them about what they're into,
Hmm.
then like they can be friends. But for me, there is an
Yeah.
extent to that. Like if you're wearing a hoodie, if you're wearing a necklace, it's fine.
Hmm.
I mean, it can be streetwear. It's just like normal fashion.
Hmm.
But if you wear a cosplay as normal fashion, for me, that's like, yeah, no.
Cosplay as a normal fashion. Wait, let me think. No, because I mean, there is what we call the closet cosplay. Have you heard of that?
Oh, no, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's fine as well because again, it's not like blatantly
Yeah,
out
yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
But I'm trying to think, like, have I done it before? Because I just don't remember. But one story that I remember though, when you mentioned to me that you're looking up, or maybe you can find some other people who's as passionate about what
Yeah.
you like. I remember when I first came to Dubai, of course I didn't have a lot of friends, and most of my video game or my Dota 2 friends are in the Philippines. So I mean, I don't have anyone to play with, like only my brother is here, so he's the only one I'm talking to, but most of the time he's like tired because at that time I didn't have work yet. So one time I went to a cafe, I brought my laptop with me. I was just, doing some stuff with my laptop. And then on the next table beside me, there was a group of people, group of guys and girls that are playing card games. So I'm like, man, I wanna join. I wanna see what they're playing, but of course I'm too shy to approach them. And then I have my phone with me, and my ringtone was the victory fanfare of Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
how it sounds. And then I didn't know that my phone was ringing, and then I answered it, and then the other guy on the table was looking for his phone because he thought it was his phone that's ringing.
Ah,
So
that's cute.
so that when they realized that I was the one who answered the phone and my ringtone stopped, they all looked at me and I looked at them too, like, yeah,
If you know,
yeah.
you know.
If you know, you know, like, But still, I was too shy to approach them, even though they're all Filipinos too. But like,
Um,
still. So I'm like, yeah, I'm also, a cultured woman. So if I
yeah.
maybe in the future, if I see them again, who knows? Maybe I will talk to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also I remember back in uni, I was part of an organization, which I think
Mm,
which is
yeah.
about the Japanese culture, Kyoshigen. So yeah, I think pretty much of my life I've been exposed to this kind of weirdness. It's just that yeah, I agree that there is a point where it's just too much. So yeah.
Mm. But do like what? Like thinking about it, like the weirdness and everything. Like back back then, maybe like even watching anime was considered weird
Yeah.
because it wasn't as popular. And so, like, how do you feel that now it actually is more popular and like it's actually cool to watch anime, and probably most of the things that we find weird are probably more acceptable now, even. How do
Yeah.
you feel about that?
At first I was bitter. Just because I didn't okay, bitter in a sense that you could have been my friend back then. Like we could
Right,
have bonded over the same things back then that you guys thought weird, right? So, like, see,
right.
in my batch, I think I was the hardcore cosplayer in uni, even in high school. Like, everyone knows that I cosplay and stuff. So
Mm.
every time that it's Halloween, I'm always the person that they ask, hey, but where can we rent a costume for this? So I'm like, yeah, I know. But the thing is, like the people from back then that weren't watching anime, that they think anime was weird, and now they're watching anime. I mean, some of them
Mm.
were even what do you call this? Too straightforward, I guess. To the point, it didn't happen to me personally, but there are some people who make fun of people who likes anime, right? Who are
Mm.
bullying anime fans because they think they're losers, but now they're also
Mm-hmm.
watching anime without thinking back of those people who they bullied, or they might have said something bad about them. And I just want them to realize that people can like whatever they want, right? You don't have to
Yeah.
be judgy. Like, I mean, for us, it may have sounded like we're judging the people, but man, it's still weird
Yeah.
for me. I mean,
Yeah, and maybe in the future our opinions will change just the same way that their opinions changed about anime as
yeah,
well. So yeah, maybe it might change in the future, but as of this point in my
yeah,
life, it's
that's
very
weird.
strange.
Yeah, and I was trying. Okay, I remember something. I remember when we went to an event recently. There were cosplayers
Mm,
there, right? And
yeah, yeah,
I remember when they were performing, they were singing and dancing. And there was a
yeah.
point in my life that I was addicted to doing that as well, because they were
Mm,
cosplaying Love Live, of course. I think that's how you pronounce
yeah.
it. But that's the latest generation, I think. I was addicted to the generation
Mm.
before that, which was the original Love Live. So the Muse. So I'm like, man, I mean, it might be cringe for me now if I see them on
Mm,
stage doing that, but man, I was doing that too. Like 8 years
exactly.
ago, I was doing that exact same shit. I was watching dance covers, studying their
Mm,
dances. Like, I even had the costume ready, the wig ready. I just wasn't able to wear it in a convention or wear it properly. But man, I was like that too. It's just that I
mm,
wasn't dancing. I mean, but still, again, they were dancing in an event. It's not like they were dancing
yeah.
and cosplaying just in
Mm,
streets, right? So yeah, I guess I want to know more about the community in Dubai. It
yeah.
comes to cosplaying, to anime, because for me it's still really not as extreme as it was in the Philippines. Have you seen any weird
Yeah.
thing like that in Dubai growing up? Like you said,
Mm,
you've seen those Naruto run, or maybe the
yeah.
colleague or the college mates that were doing that on the
Schoolmate. Yeah.
wall. But in Dubai, have you seen anything like that? That people are acting weirdly?
Mm. No, no, just that one guy in high school, the ex of my friend. But again, he's probably that one guy in high school that does a Naruto run, which I think every high school
Yeah,
has.
yeah.
So no, aside from that, no, no. But yeah, I mean, again, like yeah, my generation now is also different.
Hmm.
So maybe again, and because anime is so popular now, they've probably seen more
Yeah.
than what I've seen as well.
But I'm actually happy now that anime is becoming mainstream, because
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it was the part of me that was bitter that I was telling you earlier, that I didn't have many friends
Mm.
to talk to about anime that time, just because they think it's weird. But now, since it's popular, like, I can talk to anyone about anime nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, and you won't be judged unless you're watching an anime that's, a bit questionable. Like, that's an
Hmm.
acquired taste, man. You have to have watched a lot of animes before you reach at a certain point. But yeah, right? Because I think for Amy, for
Yeah.
you, you're still on the, like, as you've said, the normie level. But for
Yeah.
me, I mean, I've been there, done that. I mean, a lot of genres I've explored, especially when I was in high school. So yeah. What else? Anything else you want to
Have
add?
you Yeah, no, I wanted to ask you, like, because you mentioned that, like, before you found yourself cringe, like, you used to, like,
Yeah.
memorize the dances and stuff like that. Has anyone ever hurt you in any way? Like, I mean, said anything hurtful to you back when how you find cringe now? And, like, how did you deal with that? Maybe for people who are experiencing it right now, you might have some advice for them.
Honestly, I mean, I was doing those dances, but not in public. Like, see, because I know that there's a level, or there's a borderline cringe for other people. But I'm trying to think if there was a memory like that for me.
Mm.
Okay. What I think is like there was a time in my life that I was so addicted. I am addicted, still addicted to anime and video games. It's just that I had guy friends as well as girlfriends, But the thing is, like, there are some girls who think that I'm a pick me girl, that I am
Yeah.
just
No. But
acting like one of the boys, like acting like I'm into
mm,
anime or gaming just because I want to have, you know, or I just want to be close to the boys. And I'm like,
right.
that's not how it is actually. So yeah, I think that memory has been impactful for me because the girls didn't want to be my friend, just
Mm,
because they think that I'm a pick me girl, or that I'm just
mm,
acting to be one of the boys, but in reality I'm not like that. So I just learned to not mind it actually. Just do whatever you like. This is the only thing that was making me happy. My escape from real life when I go to an adventure using an anime or
yeah.
video game. So I mean, like, maybe I was just that type of person that I didn't care what other people would say
Mm,
that time. So yeah, just
yeah.
don't mind it. Just do whatever makes you happy. And if it doesn't make them happy, then cool. It's not their cup of tea. That's
Yeah.
it.
And you'll find people of your
Yeah,
tribe, I guess.
find people of your tribe, but girl, just don't do something too much, right? Like do copy me, subtle things, just wearing necklaces or red scarf to cosplay Mikasa. See, I told you I did that. Like wearing cosplay in public, it's just that it's not so much in your face. It's just that, like,
Right.
it looks like I'm just wearing imagine wearing a scarf in the Philippines where it's almost every time it's summer.
That's what I want. I was actually curious about that. I was like, she was wearing a scarf. Like, what about when it was during the summer? But I don't think you
Yeah.
ever wore it
I
during the
wore it
summer.
around
So,
December. November, December. So
uh,
it's like, it still could pass the level, like, it was cold and it was raining. So you know how it is when it's
yeah,
rainy in the Philippines. So I had an excuse for wearing a scarf, a red one at that.
yeah.
Yeah. What else? I don't have any more memory that I can remember about it. But I
Mm,
have another question. I have a question for you, Amy. Have you heard of the
yeah.
simping culture?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
And what do you think about it? Like, what's your opinion about simping? Just a random question that I, thought of.
Um, like, again, like, it's when something, I guess it's for me, it's like when something is a little too much, it's always bad. And like simping is sort of too much of being too passionate
Mm.
about someone. So again, for me, that's just like nah, it's not a great thing as
Honestly, I've
well.
been trying to figure out what's the difference between white knighting and simping. Because I remember back in the
Mm,
cosplay community, we had this term white
right.
knight, like
Mm,
white knighting someone. Like if your favorite cosplayer is getting bashed or something, you will defend them online and then they will call you a white knight. And then now
yeah.
it evolved probably to simping.
The simp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same, really.
And especially
Yeah, I think
now,
it's just synonymous.
and you
Yeah.
know how internet makes up like, just pick up a random word from the dictionary and turn it into something totally different. Like, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, but for me, simping is simp responsibly. That's it.
Yeah.
Simp
Simp response.
responsibly.
Don't, yeah. I guess don't harass people. That's always there, I
Yeah,
guess.
I don't think I have shared this before, but when I was still streaming back home, um, I wasn't. streaming on a daily basis. It's more like weekly basis. And then my friends
Mm.
know about this story as well. Um, I was playing or I was streaming Dota 2 a lot of times that day, and then I got a follower, and then he keeps on donating money to me. He keeps on joining my games, and I'm like, yeah, it's
Mm.
cool because you're following me. You're my follower, and I treat them now as my friend because I wasn't a big streamer. It's just like a small community. So okay, we're always playing, blah blah blah, and then there was a point where I had to stop streaming for a few weeks because work. I
Mm.
had stuff that I had to do, so I had to pause streaming for a couple of weeks. And then I was at work. Normally, we get phone calls from IT department, but they use a foreign number. It's either from US, from India, like different numbers. So I'm
Mm.
used to answering phone calls with a different or a foreign number.
Mm.
So I was at work one
Yeah.
time, like I think this is around 3 in the morning. I was having a class, and then a foreign number is calling me. So I'm like, oh, maybe this is an IT.
Mm.
Maybe it's regarding the ticket that I sent. So I went out of the class and I answered it. And then when I answered the call, the first line that I said, of course, is hello. And then the guy was
Yeah.
like, is this Viv? And I'm like, I don't use my gamer name at work.
Right.
So, I mean, this is weird. And I said, yeah, this is Viv. Who is this? And then he said, this is, he said the name
Yeah.
of the follower because
Gamer
he had the
tag.
gamer tag.
Yeah.
He said his gamer tag. So I'm like, okay, like how did you get my number, and he was asking me like, why are you not streaming anymore? When will I see you again? When are you going back to streaming? And I'm like, so shocked, girl, so shocked. I swear, because like, how was he able to track my phone number? I
Right.
don't put it on public sites, right?
Mm.
So I don't know. He even knows my home address. That's the creepy part. And he's from Indonesia. So I'm like, okay. Simp responsibly, guys.
Uh,
That was scary.
yeah.
It made
Exactly.
me want to stop streaming just because I got
Mm.
paranoid. Like, oh my God. So my personal information is, easily available. And I had to, protect my privacy at that point. So I had to stop streaming
Yeah.
for a couple of months and went back. But when I went back, he was still my follower. Okay. So he was
Mm.
still following. So I'm like, yeah, cool. He's still following me. Like, I just try to forget that incident. And then when I was about to start streaming, I forgot that I already clicked live. So it was already, live, and I didn't know. So I was like out. I went to the washroom. I went back to my seat. I saw an invite, a game invite from that follower, which is from Dota 2. Like, you will know that they're sending you an invite. And I wasn't ready yet to play a game because, again, I was about to start my stream. So I declined the invitation. And then when I started my spiel, like, hello, everyone, welcome to my stream, welcome to my channel, blah, blah, blah. We will be playing this. He sent me a long ass message, and he kept on telling me that I was rude, that I was a bitch for declining his invite. And I'm like, dude, you clearly saw that I was just about to start my live streaming, like my show. So it wasn't intentional that I declined him. It's not like I'm ignoring him. It's just that I wasn't ready yet, but he wasn't accepting my explanation. So he just blocked me. And I'm like, okay, okay.
Okay.
Like, that was weird, but okay. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think yeah, like we mentioned earlier, it's just that there are creeps out there and they're just using these
Yeah.
platforms as a means to be creeps,
Mm-mm.
really.
Or
But
like I said, like what we keep on saying, it's healthy to have an obsession, but just not, too much.
Yeah.
right? Like there's a
Yeah.
healthy level of simping and being an otaku or
Right.
being a weeb, but just not. I mean, like,
Too much.
yeah,
There again, for us we believe there is an extent
yeah.
to it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like 2D is great, but man, 3D is still great as well. I mean, I mean, 3D is still the extreme supremacy. I mean, that's it for me. I mean, I still have my husbandos, like
Yeah.
the Shomaru or so. Oops. Do you know who's that guy?
That's like
Yeah,
Kakashi. No.
yeah. Or Gojo Satoru. Like, girl,
Oh.
that smile, that knowing smile, Amy. So those are just our anime crushes. Anime
Yeah.
crushes.
Do you like for like since you have your anime crushes, do you have any anime crushes of like in any anime that you would like to recommend to people watching right now?
Oh my god. Speaking of anime crushes, that's why I mentioned Gojo Satoru because I just finished Jujutsu Kaisen before I rewatched Chobits. So I'm like, man, I've been seeing a lot of memes about him, about Satoru Sensei,
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
who is this guy? It's just like, typical how do you call this? Like pretty guy in an anime. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's see if I will fall into this trap that's called Gojo Satoru.
Mm.
So I was watching Jujutsu Kaisen and I'm like, now I understand where the memes are coming
Yeah.
from. Like, so yeah,
This is what the TikToks were about.
yeah, this is what it is. Like, okay, now I get it. So yeah, for anime recommendation, I would say Jujutsu Kaisen. That's it for me. How about you, Amy? Do you have any anime recommendation?
For me, it would be okay. So, the real life, the real
Live
life,
action
the remake version, the live action,
for the
the
latter.
live action, yeah, the live action of Cowboy Bebop is not gonna have a season two, but yeah, no, they're
Really?
not gonna have a season two. Yes,
Why?
they, yeah,
Have you seen it?
the money that I've only seen half of it.
Mm-hmm.
The first few episodes were like the anime, sort of like fan service, but it
Mm-hmm.
didn't really.
Translate
I don't
well.
know. Personally, it didn't really translate well, and then slowly it started moving into its own story, which sort of worked, but like I didn't continue it enough to see like if the entire series does work
Mm-hmm.
uh, as a Cowboy Bebop sort of remake in a way. So I would suggest to just watch the original Cowboy Bebop for now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean that's always a classic. It's always yeah. I mean it's one of the best anime out there. So yeah,
But
that's
but
it.
when you mentioned the live action and it didn't translate well, that's what I'm trying to say about this whole
Mm,
episode. That if it's in anime, it looks cool. But yeah, but
basically.
it doesn't translate well into real life. I think the only we will talk about this in a separate episode, maybe. Like
Mm,
rating live actions from 0 to 10, or like having a tier list. But for me, the only live action that worked was Samurai X, Rurouni Kenshin. That's it. That's it. The rest,
mm.
it didn't translate well into real life or even into the live action scene. So yeah, that's
I
it.
think Parasite. I don't know if you've seen it. The hand. Anyway, I think Parasite was also okay as a live
Mhm,
action. I mean, I didn't finish the live action for
mhm.
that either. I'm very bad at finishing live action, but I mean,
Yeah.
as far as I watched, it translated pretty okay.
So we will have a separate episode for that. Look
Yeah,
forward to
exactly.
that.
So yeah, so I guess that's basically it for today's episode. I'm Amy. You can follow me at Hasta La Vista Amy on Instagram, and for Vivs, you can follow her at
Viv's Black Mage on Instagram.
yes.
And
All right.
follow our social media, guys. Our podcast. If you have any thoughts, opinions, questions, or topic suggestions feel free to message us, leave us a comment, or just let us know.
Yep. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.